Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to explain to you the basics of probability. And we're going to work on the example that we had in class where we were adding the results of throwing two dice. Before I start, let me just point out some basic ideas. For example, if I'm throwing here, and I'm just going to be throwing right now the blue dice, if I'm throwing the blue dice, the possible results that I'm going to get are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are the possible results, the possible outcomes of throwing the blue dice. I call that the sample space. And if the dice is fair, we say that the dice is fair if each number is equally likely, then the chance of each one of these results is going to be 1 out of 6. Because there's just one of each one of them, and there are 6 possible results. That's some basic explanations in language about probability. So the technique we were working on asks you to do the following simple thing. What happens if I throw both dice simultaneously? Well, these are the possible outcomes. On my blue dice, I could get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. In the red die, I could get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. This is a full list of all the possible results. Now, realize that what's happening here is that there are 36 possible outcomes. Because although it might seem that it's the same thing, it really is not. To get, for example, a 1 with the red die and a 2 with the blue die as to get a 2 with the red die and a 1 with the blue one. It seems like it's a 1 or a 2 or a 2 or a 1, it doesn't matter, but it's a different die, it's a different solution. So if I add them, these are the possible results. I could get a 2 in this case, or a 3, or a 4, or a 5, or a 6, or a 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, if I am to think about what the probability of obtaining, let's say, a 10 is, well, there are 3 places where I get a 10 out of all the 36 possible combinations. So the chance of that happening is going to be 3 out of 36, which I can simplify to be 1 divided by 12. This is the basic idea behind what I just built here, which is what we call a probability grid, or a contingency table. This is one of the many techniques we will work to analyze probability in different scenarios. It might not be the most common, but it is actually a very useful one. Please think about how it is a little bit unexpected that there is such a big difference between the chance of getting a 7, which is 1 out of 6, because 6 out of 36, which simplifies to 1 out of 6, and how actually very unlikely it is to get a 2, just 1 out of 36. It is quite a big difference. Based on this idea, there has been many scams and people who have been told that it was equally likely when in reality it wasn't, therefore encouraging them to bet on a losing idea. Well, this is basically the summary of what we did in class today. I hope it's helpful for you to understand it. Please work on the exercises and let me know if you have any questions. Goodbye.